Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister. And Ben tells them about the minister.
All right. Assalamu alaikum, family. I hope you all are having a wonderful, blacktastic day. If this is your first time on the power call, if you don't mind, just press the number 1 in the comment section if this is your very first time being on this morning's power call. We meet every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Central Time. Do we have anybody that is new on this morning? Shout out to iPhone. Shout out to Derek. Shout out to, I don't know, when y'all be saying turn up the volume. Hey, that ain't me. Maybe that's Zoom or something. But I can't turn up my volume no more. Shout out to Ivy. Yeah, I can't speak that ain't me. Yeah, I don't think that got nothing to do with my volume. Okay, they said they hear me fine. All right. This morning, we're going to be listening to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan speak on Allah, the only reality. Now, if you are new, when we come on every morning, we want you to take notes. This ain't no just listen. You know what I mean? We going, okay, it's pretty good. And then you go on about your day. We want to listen. We want to dialogue about what we listen to. Have a discussion about what we listen to. Okay? And then at the end, we all get to hear, oh, that's what you got from this. Oh, that's what you pulled. Because God's going to reveal different things to different people based on the experience and where they are at in life. And if I'm listening based on where I'm at, I may miss something. And when you bring it up and you don't be scared, you don't be afraid, you don't be shy, and you say, hey, man, this right here, this part touched me. Y'all don't know, sometimes those are the best parts of the call when people are giving their testimonies and sharing what stood out for them. So we're going to leave the chat on today. Okay? But what we ask you guys to do is don't overdo it. Sometimes we can just, blow that chat up. How the scientists put that dynamite when he wanted everybody to speak the same dialect. He put that dynamite and he tried to blow us all up. No, don't be like Shabazz. Was that Shabazz? Yeah, don't be like I forget whatever his name is because I don't want to mess it up. But don't be like that scientist who tried to blow everything up. Just bear witness. Yes, sir. Okay. Pray EBT. Sure, what's touching you, but don't do it like that, in the chat, let everybody else get some in as well. Maybe we can put like a little timer, you can only comment every minute or something. Maybe, I don't know, we'll figure it out. But anyways, man, we're going to be talking about Allah, the only reality, and we would love to hear from you at the end. So let's go ahead and get started here, family. All right, 1 second. Boom, there it is. Let's go.
So scientific.
Coming on. Don't worry about it. I know y'all can't hear these claps.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever. We thank Allah over and over again for raising up in our midst a divine leader, teacher, and guide. The messenger of Allah, but more than a messenger, the Messiah that the world has long been looking for, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I greet all of you, my dear brothers and sisters, with the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. I would like to ask your forgiveness for being late. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to hear the words spoken by Brother Minister Sabir and Minister Ishmael. I was looking forward to hearing and being inspired by others. I don't wish to keep you long. There's just a few simple points I want to make tonight. On Sunday, we took up with you the subject, we are the overcomers. But in reality, we wanted us to see that gradually we are being overcome by the power of the wicked Caucasian scientists of evil. The Quran teaches us that the devil leads man to evil and indecency. And gradually, even the best are being overcome by the evil and indecency and filth projected daily, hourly, every minute of the day by our ever scientific enemies. They have learned the art of suggestion in such a way that makes the suggestion of Satan in the garden to Adam look immature. We mentioned on Sunday that there's something in the human spirit that rebels against orders. And the more you tell someone not to do something, is the greater their desire to do the thing that you tell them not to do. In the Quran, Allah says that the devil caused Adam to slip by making a suggestion. It must have been a powerful suggestion to make Adam disobey direct orders from God. Just a suggestion. The Caucasian today is so wise in mind manipulation that most of us are being manipulated and think we are the manipulators. Most of us are very unaware of the artful way that the enemy is turning us from where we think we wanted to go to where he is now moving us. Thank you. In the Quran, there's an Arabic word, makara, which is called in English a plan. A plan is a well thought out stratagem to achieve certain goals and or objectives. Allah says in the Quran that they plan and he plans. Now we don't plan. most black people have no plan. No plan for our lives, no plan for our families, no plan for our organizations. We just function from day to day without a plan. We move on a whim. We move on a fancy. We move on an inspiration, but not with a plan. But the Quran says they plan. When the enemy plans, he takes into consideration the forces that may be arrayed against the success of his plan, and he plans against those forces. He organizes his forces to bring his plan to fruition. The Quran teaches us that the enemy's plan is so skillful that he literally turns a person with cunning and skill to an objective that is not the person's own objective. But with skill, he makes the person think that is his objective, but the objective is really the enemy's, but he turns the person so skillfully in that direction that the person does not even know he's being turned. God and the devil have a lot in common. We are on a planet that is turning and we don't even realize it is turning. That's how smooth it's moving.
Right. Yes, sir.
God turns us and the devil turns us. Both are turning us in a way that they want us to go. God sends us warning. Look at the way God operates. He sends warning, warners. And in the warning is not only an implied threat, but an actual threat. If you don't do such and such, this is going to be what will happen. And you know what the wicked say? Well, bring on us what you threaten us with. Don't sell me no wolf ticket. Even if it's God talking, they say you can't threaten me. Satan comes different. There is no threat. He just drops a suggestion of a benefit if you go his way. He comes right in the nature of your own desires and will offer you what you want if you go my way. This is a formidable enemy. This enemy that has us in his grip is so powerful, brothers and sisters, that it takes God's coming himself to deal with this enemy. No prophet could deal with him. And if it were not for the help of God, every prophet would have been overcome by the wicked. God had to come and deliver his prophet at the last minute. Otherwise, the prophet certainly was overcome.
To be overcome is to be defeated. To be overcome is to succumb to a power that is greater than your power to resist. And when a prophet of God is made to cry out and say, I am overcome, so do thou help me. He's saying that with all that I have on my own, I'm overcome. I don't have any power to do what you want me to do. You got to come now and help me. Otherwise, I'm defeated. And if I'm defeated, you are defeated. And God's own integrity is wrapped up in the cry of his servant and in his alleged defeat. So he waits until the last possible moment, and then he snatches victory out of defeat. But those of us who are the servants of God, we have to know where the power is.
Yes, sir.
You know, Jesus was a marvelous, marvelous teacher. It's too bad that those who represent him don't understand the majesty of his teaching. You know, Jesus, the Christ, was not a prophet. He actually was the master of prophets. The prophets only represented a sign of him, but he was what they were pointing to. And if you listen to the language of Jesus, it is a perfect expression of complete humility and reliance on God. Listen to his words. I can of myself do nothing. That's very powerful. That's the same man that was opening the eyes of the blind, making the deaf hear, the dumb speak, and raising the dead to life, and doing miraculous things, but he had the humility to say that I can of myself do nothing. Whatsoever the Father commands me, that I do. Meaning I'm waiting on the command of my Father. I don't go ahead of my Father. I go after he commands. I don't speak ahead of my Father. Whatever he commands, that I speak. Whatever he commands, that I do. Brothers and sisters, Jesus, in his wisdom, told the people when they saw him doing these miracles, wait a minute, wait, don't worship me. Because the people are so lazy to worship the real God. They always want to stop somewhere at some powerful individual who is also depending on a power bigger than himself. So Jesus was quick to tell the people, worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for such the Father seeketh. I'm not seeking no worshipers, Jesus is saying. Don't worship me. Worship who? The Father. Where did Jesus get his juice from? If you pardon that cheap expression, I don't mean orange juice or anything like that. I mean, where did he get his power from? He got it from another power, bigger than himself. And because he got that power from a power bigger than himself, he was quick to recognize that power, to submit to that power, to defer to that power. And he did not want the ignorant people worshiping him as the power, because he knew that one day he would not be among them, but that power would always be among them. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So Jesus told his disciples, pray in my name. And whatever you ask, not me, ask the Father in my name, he will grant it to you. He never said to you or me, pray to him. And this is where the church has gone off the path. We have made Jesus the fountainhead of power and left God out of the picture. This is wrong, my dear Christians. This is wrong. Jesus would not approve of the way you're preaching him. He would be displeased with us, and he would, if he were present, correct our false representation of him. In the Quran, Allah asks Jesus in the day of judgment, "Oh Jesus, did you tell the people to take you and your mother for gods beside me?" And Jesus answered, saying, "Lord, if I had done so, you certainly would have known it. For you know what is in my mind, but I know not what is in your mind. I only told them what you told me. Serve Allah, my Lord and your Lord." How did you get off the path? Because once a smart, crooked deceiver can take you away from the worship of God to the worship of a servant of God, he has short-circuited your power to resist the evil one. Man. No prophet of God was blind to where the power actually was. And when that prophet got in deep trouble and was about to be overcome, that prophet called on God to deliver him, and God always delivered his servants. So my subject to you tonight, in the few moments that we will be together, is taken from the Holy Quran, where it reads, "And Allah is the only reality. All things will pass away, but the person of your Lord." What is a reality? That which is a reality is that which is real, that which is true, that which is a fact, that which is actual. Is this reality? Are you reality? Am I reality? Are we really? No, you're not. You're an illusion. And that's what I am. You go to a magic show. If you've ever gone to a magic show, they show you things that you see a rabbit coming out of a hat, but the rabbit's not really coming out of the hat. If you see Siegfried and Roy, they make you see a lion, a tiger. They got a tiger there, but they make it look like one thing when it's not. That's what an illusion is. It is an appearance that deceives by producing a false impression. Now you see it, now you don't. Illusion. Where's my mother? She was here just a few days ago. She's gone now like she never was. I can only remember her voice and her image, but I can never see her again. She's gone. Why? Because she was not real.
Go ahead.
She was a passing thing. The real thing was in her, but she was not the real thing. I'm going to talk to you tonight about what you worship other than Allah. God is trying to show you, beautiful sister, that your beauty is not real. It's an illusion that is passing away. So you're beautiful today, but time will wrinkle you like a prune. So you can only talk about what was when you were young. It's an illusion. So why worship that which is passing away and have no power to keep itself here? Why worship that? Why not find the real power and tie yourself to that which is eternal? God is the only reality. Everything else is passing away. Oh, here's the Pope. Which one are you talking about? A man with flowing white robes, such majesty, such beauty. And a puff of black smoke comes up out of the chimney of St. Peter's. We haven't made a decision on our choice of the next pope yet. The pope is dead, but long live the pope. The king is dead, but long live the king, huh? Because all of us are illusions. We're only here for a short time and we're gone. As much as I love Nat King Cole, as much as I love the voice of Sarah Vaughan, as much as I loved Sammy Davis Jr., as much as I admired Red Fox, as much as I admire those that have gone on, that have really made my life worth living because they added something, at least to my life. They're gone. I have the records of Sarah Vaughan. I have the records of Nat Cole. I can put them on and hear them, but I can never go and see them. They're gone now. But Allah was, He is, He shall be. Everything is passing away but the person of your Lord. So the Quran says He is the only reality. Not He's one of the realities. There is no other reality but God. Everything else is passing away. Sun, moon, and stars are passing away. Why bow down and worship that which is not real? It's dying, but God is the ever-living.
Yes, sir.
It's losing its light, but He is the light. It's losing its power, but He is all-powerful. In every generation, in every age, God is God.
Yes, sir.
But the fools in every age try to find something other than he to worship. Isn't that sad? People worship snakes. Snakes are passing away. People worship stone, and water withers the stone. People worship fire. Dust can put out fire. People worship people, and people come and go. People have found everything to worship, trying to find the reality. Well, didn't you say that God came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad? Yes, I did say that. Why did you say that? That's what I was taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and that's what I believe. That power is manifest in a human being, but the flesh of that human being is an illusion. That's why you don't find pictures in any mosque or any image of God. Because if you make an image of what you think he looks like, you have to put him in flesh. And since flesh is finite, then the flesh that dies, the spirit that lives and inhabits other flesh, then the picture that you got may change tomorrow. The image that you have may change tomorrow, so you don't make no graven image to God. You don't put up no picture of him and say, this is him. Although we have a picture of Master Farad Muhammad, it should always be properly displayed. Yes. Never in the mosque, because we have never worshiped the flesh of nobody. Brother Ishmael Muhammad asked me the other day about the we in the Quran. It constantly says, and we did this and we did that. The wonderful originator of the heavens and the earth, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, the one that originated this, he's not here now, he's gone. Right. But yet he's here. But how is he here? He's not here in the material form in which he was manifested. That's gone. But he's here. How do you know he's here? His mind is present. In the universe that he set up and the law that he set in motion, nobody has been able to build anything different from what he set up. They have to build according to his law, his principle, because his mind prevails, so he lives. Not in the flesh, he lives. His mind is constantly feeding new minds. Go ahead. God. The wise men that came up, that became masters, they could only continue his work. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he did not like darkness, so he said, there be a light. And he put a light out in space, and that light started vanishing darkness. Well, how long did it take to create billions of stars? And was one individual here to do all of that? Or was it many individuals working from the mind of that one? And so the Quran says, and we adorn the lower heavens with stars. We who? Since God is one, why is there we there? because we acted from the mind of that wonderful originator. Then there's a lower line of we. When it talks about Mary, and it reads in the Quran, and you were not present when they or we cast our pens to decide who would have charge of Mary. Who is that we? That's not the same we that set stars out. That's the we that made Holy Quran and Bible. That's a lesser we than the we that set stars in, and we raise mountains in the earth that lest it convulse and carry you away. That's another we, but only functioning from the principle of that originator. Where did you get your only fun vase in?
Sorry, y'all.
That's a lesser we than the we. That's not the same we have charge of Mary. Who is that we? That's not the same we that set stars out. That's the we that made Holy Quran and Bible. That's a lesser we than the we that set stars in, and we raise mountains in the earth that lest it convulse and carry you away. That's another we, but only functioning from the principle of that originator. Where did you get your brains? Where did you get your body? Since you didn't design it. Well, if Master Farad Muhammad came in this body, then he has to pay honor, homage, and respect to the originator of the heavens and the earth, because he, in his wisdom, is to perfect the wisdom of the originator. Yes, sir. But not by disrespecting him. And we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brain. That's another we. There's a group of people acting in harmony with the will of God, and that's what a Muslim is. A Muslim is one who submits to carry out the will of God. So you become a conspirator, if you will, with God to carry out his will. That's good company to be in when you're in God's company, working to carry out God's will. He's the reality. We pass away. We are an illusion that is constantly passing away. So should you worship an illusion? No, sir. If you do, you make a fool of yourself. Look at your flesh. It gives us a lot of pleasure. It creates a lot of problems for us. But there's another part of us that God gave us to master the flesh. But if we serve the flesh, we serve the illusion that is passing away. If we serve God, we serve the only reality that will keep us alive. And that's what eternal life is. It's not staying here forever. It's being wrapped up in him who is forever. Now, brothers and sisters, this kind of subject matter, you may ask Farrakhan, you know, why would you take up such a subject with us? What is the reason for that? I'm taking up this subject with you because you don't have a lot of time to get acquainted with the reality.
And if you don't know how to call on that reality, you have no help to keep you from being defeated in your desire for freedom, justice, equality, liberation, and salvation. Then this becomes a joke. This is not even worth our time. This becomes vanity. Our preaching becomes vain. It's worthless. It's like tinkling cymbals and sounding brass. It's valueless. If we just talk on the thing that is passing away and don't give people a chance to hold on to the only reality that there is. I don't know about you, but I know that I'm in a fight.
Go ahead.
If you are afflicted with any kind of disease that affects you internally, your body has to fight to overcome it. Is that right? When you're in a fight, everybody wants help when you're fighting.
That's right.
When you throw down, if you pardon that expression, and somebody is kind of putting it on you, you look around and see where the buddies are. Do I have any help? It's something when you are in a fight and you're alone and you got to summon everything within you to keep from being overcome by that which is trying to impose its will on you. A woman involved in rape how do you respond to rape? How do you handle it? Do you just submit and tell him no, 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 don't, no, no, don't, no, no? That's your life. If you fight and you're fighting for a right principle, you may die. I'm not going to say that every time you fight for a righteous principle, you're going to live. There's too many dead people that have fought for a righteous principle, but death again is an illusion. You know, when you die in the way of God, there is no death for you. It means the flesh go back to the earth all right enough. And that's the only thing, that's the only reality we know right now is the flesh. But there is another reality beyond this. I've had out of the body experiences. I don't know about nobody else. Well, I have literally seen places that I've never been before.
Uh-oh.
And then went there and saw it exactly as I saw it in my experience. So I know that real sight is not with the eyes. And I know that real hearing is not with the ears. Real sight has always been with the mind. And if
we are rightly tuned, we can get up out of the flesh, which limits the spirit. And literally travel and see worlds without ever going there. This mind is fantastic.
Yes.
The flesh limits. So to worship the flesh is to limit you. We like different kinds of people. I like the way this one looks, or that one sings, or this one does that, or this one does the other. And we all just fasten ourselves to different people. Every little group got their little leader, you know, as your main man that you follow. And you ask yourself, what are you following? Do you know that whatever you worship, you receive the impress of that on your nature and character? You worship that which is not good, then evil is impressed upon you. If you worship Allah and Allah alone, then the righteous character of Allah becomes your character. Muslims, we are in the fight of our life. Any righteous person in this audience who believes in God, who is trying to rear your children in a world that is decadent and on its way out, you are in the fight of your life to maintain your integrity and your sanity in this world. And you can't do it on your own.
Right. Right.
You need help. And so, my beloved brothers and sisters, when the prophets were overcome, they cried out for help. And help came. Didn't come when they wanted it, but it did come on time. And every prophet was delivered. As I look at my own people, and I am supposed to be a representative of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, a man who came to reform our lives. He didn't come to talk smart. He did not come to tickle our ears.
Right.
He came to make a difference in our lives from evil to what? To righteousness. Everything that I know of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was that he wanted to make a wrong people right. And he taught us that our power is sustained by our being right.
Yes. Right.
He wanted the sisters to dress how? Right.
Yes.
Who determines what is right for you? God. And if God says, sisters, be modest and cover yourself, why fight that?
Right.
Satan's got all kind of styles.
Right.
And they are appealing. I mean, to what? What do they appeal to in you? No, I just want to know, what is it that is so appealing? Why do they look so nice? Why are they so attractive? I mean, what is it about it? You see, if you think you're fine, which is an illusion. Let's go on. You want to display your what? Finery. Come on. So the designers shape and mold the clothing to display your finery. So the Quran says, display not your finery as you did in the days of your ignorance. I didn't say it. God said it.
Right.
So you have a beautiful waistline and a beautiful hip line and a well-formed bust line. Display your finery. So Satan now got dresses, suits, their arms are covered. But there's a big gash in the front. Where your breast is just out. I'm embarrassed places I go. I went to a place recently. There was a benefit for a young baby that is to be born that needed a heart transplant.
Yes, sir.
And I went to show support, and Stevie Wonder was performing, and there was a woman, the whole back was out, no back at all. I mean, can you imagine? This is not a beach. This is a theater. And if she had no back, she had no foundation to hold her, so her front was exposed. And this woman was walking and bending over and doing. I'm embarrassed for the woman because the woman is crazy. She doesn't have a level of civilization and shyness and shame that she wants to show herself in that manner. That's the way of the world. Jesus would not be pleased with that. And if Jesus told you he wasn't pleased, you tell Jesus, I ain't coming to church no more. Jesus, you all right, just stay out of my clothing closet. Mind your business. Go on and make the blind see, but just leave my dress alone. Brothers, they're styling clothes for us today. The same old freaks. And are messing her up. They got us wearing clothes that excite women. I got a witness. Years ago, the freaks left us alone. They just concentrated on her. Today, the world has gone so mad. There's so many men looking at men till they have to expose men's backsides so that men can see what other men have and women can see what other men have. So we just get crazy. This is a sick, 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 sick world. And what's so sad, a lot of us are getting sick with it and don't know that we are gradually being taken down. It's so subtle that we are going down, 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 and we don't realize that we are falling. And as I looked in December last year in Los Angeles, at nearly 50,000 people in the Coliseum, a beautiful group of black people, and on one side were the Bloods and the other side the Crips. And right after the lecture was over, just a block or so away from the Coliseum, a man was shot to death while he was in his car. I said in my heart, I really don't wish to deal with this anymore, because you are not getting any better with preaching. I believe that God has made me one of the finer teachers in the world today. But teaching is not going to help you. I've come to that conclusion. I see that we have been or are almost overcome by the same devil that we dislike. He's now in the house among the believers, crippling us in our relationships with each other. And we are steadily going down and down into the pit of evil, filth, and indecency. We as Muslims and we as Christians, if you just look at what we're involved in and look at what's going on in religious houses, it's enough to turn the stomach. So Satan is laughing. I remember one day I came to the messenger and I had on a suit. It was one of these bell-bottom suits. That was a long time ago. And it had a dip in the hip, in the waist. And it had a little flare, little pleat in the back. I had one of these fly handkerchiefs falling out. I had a beautiful tie, the knot was laid, and I walked into the home of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And he looked at me. he said, Assalamu alaikum, brother. And I was so happy to see him, as I always am and was. Wa alaikum salam, dear apostle. How are you, sir? And he said, fine, brother. He said, brother, if the devil was outside looking at you, he would say that Muhammad got his body, but I got his mind. I was shocked. He said, look at the way you come here, brother. Where did you get such crazy style as a minister representing such high wisdom, dressing in such foolery? He said, brother, take off that silly looking tie, and I want you to put on the bow tie like you see me go. I want you to get one of these bow ties, brother. He said, these Jews in New York City, they make mohair. I want you to go and get the finest silk mohair and get you some suits made, 3-piece suits, brother. And I want you to be a dignified preacher of Islam. And the next time I see you, don't you ever let me see you in such style as this. I said, yes, sir, dear apostle. I took that fool suit off. This is the truth. I went downtown just like he told me.
got the finest silk mohair that they make, and I had me a tailor make me 3, 4, 5 suits, and I was anxious to get back out to Chicago to let the Honorable Elijah Muhammad see his obedient servant. And I have worn a straight tie every now and then, but from that time to this, I have worn the bow tie. And I don't wear necessarily all silk mohair suits, but the point I'm making is, he said, I got your body, but Satan got your mind. And whoever got your mind don't care where your body is. And the way you dress and style yourself is an indication of your thinking. And it don't make any difference what church or mosque you go to, but who got your mind? And what I'm suggesting to all of us is, we are just about overcome by Satan.
All right, that's part number 1, fam. We're going to finish the rest tomorrow. But, man, I know y'all got something from that. I got so many notes. Man, shout out to the Honorable Minister Lewis. It's like any message that we put on, it just hits us. Even in 2000, this was 1991, family. This is 1991. And I know he was all up in our business, and it's 2023. So go ahead and raise your hand if there was anything that stood out for you. For those who are tuned in, again, if you on for your very first time, press the number 1 if you on for your very first time. I want to see if we had any more first timers come on this morning. Let's see if we had any more first timers that came on this morning. Okay, we still got, okay. Okay, we got some on Facebook. Cool. Well, man, we appreciate y'all for coming on. Remember, and I want to hear from some of y'all who was on for your first time over here on Zoom. So go ahead and raise your hand. Even if you ain't got nothing to share, just like, man, this is what I thought about the Zoom this month. We always like to hear what the new people are thinking about the power call. You know what I mean? If you would like to attend and be my guest this Friday at your local Muhammad Master Study Group, go to www.noistudygroup.com, www.noistudygroup.com, and we're going to reach out to you, help you find your location, and we're going to give you the instructions that you need. So with no further ado, let's start off with Brother Wesley. Go ahead. Shout out to Sister Tamara, says she got 2 people on. I see you down there fishing. Go ahead, Brother Wesley.
Like you said, so many notes. I'm gonna keep it brief and leave some for the rest of the family. But what stood out the most for me was that he said that the flesh is what limits us. And the first thing that came to my mind, of course, is the light bulb. And the light bulb doesn't have all the power of electricity or energy in it. It's a limit. So like that 60-watt light bulb is just a limit to what the electricity can transfer through it. So the same thing with Allah. Allah is limitless and with his mind and what we're able to do. But we sometimes will get limited in what we believe and limited in what our ability is. But we can't put that on Allah. And also thinking about reality and that word reality, part of that definition, it states a thing that exists in fact. So we see facts. We see reality, we see trees, we see humans. These are facts, and that is more evidence of Allah being real and the reality of Allah based off our expressions of Allah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Yes, sir. One of mine was, he said that the flesh, we are illusions, but it is Allah that is eternal and that is real. And he mentioned worshiping that which is going to go away. He talking about our beauty. You know, we're going to eventually wrinkle up. You know, you can go get all the BBLs that you can get. some of that fix it flat or whatever they put in there. It's going to go out eventually. I mean, gravity is going to do its thing and bring that thing down eventually. So if we worship that, which is going away, we don't really have that eternal. And what it made me think about is this goes for certain businesses. This goes in certain relationship. If you are worshiping your husband, oh, come on now, your husband gonna eventually die. If you're worshiping your wife, these things are going to eventually die. So even these things that we have, relationships that we have, God has to be the center of that, business-wise, relationship-wise. And we have to, and now it's easy for us to say, oh yeah, God is the center. But do we have the same, what's the word I'm looking for? Do we have the same urgency to build the relationship with God as we do in building the business relationship, as we do in building that marriage relationship? Are we finding ourselves worshiping this relationship more than we want a real connection with God? If God is the one who gave him to you, if God is the one who gave her to you, maybe we find ourselves, if we think about it, worshiping the wrong thing. Now, love it, of course. Want to build it, of course. But man, the minister made it plain that these things are all going to come and go. But Allah, that power, that mind is going to always be here. So let's just make sure that he is the real center, the real source of everything that we do. Let's go to Sister Brianna.
Wooey, assalamu alaikum. What an amazing one. I'm gonna touch on the two that hit me other than what you guys said. He said we are in the greatest fight for our integrity and sanity to maintain it. And it made me think about even yesterday, like I had to turn down a job. And well, I wanted to turn down a job because I told them like my Islam can't be compromised by money. It was a security job. I had to tuck in my shirt. We don't do that, right? We don't walk around with our feet out. Like there are certain things that we're not supposed to do. And if we allow our integrity to be shaken or shooken by money, then who are we really worshiping, right? How much love are we really showing Allah if we're able to do that? And then he said, it doesn't matter who has your mind if I have your body, right? That was huge. Where he said, no, he said, doesn't matter who has your mind if he has your body. So your mind could be in all the right places, saying the right thing, but if your actions, what you portray to the world isn't contradictory to what's in the mind, does it really matter what's up there? Man, I can keep going, but I'm not gonna. Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam. Thank you. Brother Samuel.
Yes, sir, Brother Ben. I'm listening to you off and on my duty post. But the theme that I hear from the beginning, something at the beginning, I can't quite what it was because I was gonna do it, I couldn't write it down, but I heard at the end, he summed it up, the same kind of thing. I got your body, but Satan got your mind, right? I was having a conversation last night with someone else, of course, of a quote unquote, I guess, different faith. I'm trying to show you we all really one faith. And I can tell some of the spirit you're talking is like, I'm gonna help this brother out. And I say a recurring theme the minister says, he goes to the Bible, especially when he go to church. He said the sons of God came to present themselves before God, but Satan came also with them, but they didn't know they was hanging out with Satan. So I see that theme in it. And so it don't just mean those in church, right? It also means those in any house of worship. Are we really with him? Or are we arrogant? You know what I'm saying? Are we NOI? Are we Nation of Islam? Or are we NOI? Are we Negroes of Islam? But so whoever, and a manifestation of what, I like what he said, what we do would determine how we act and how we dress. We'll know about, you don't have to even tell nobody. Your action, your behavior, your everything else will tell what you really are. So we got to be sure that we really belong to Allah. We got to always be humble. We always be studying, because this Satan, he conquered the whole world. So we can't be too arrogant that we got it all. We got to always stay humble and always steady searching at, self-analysis, correction and all that. So that's some of what I got in a little bit. I didn't write nothing down. I wish I did, but that's what I got just off the top of my head.
Praise be to Allah. Another thing that stood out for me is when the minister said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad came to change lives. He didn't come to talk smart and tickle the ears. And what I've noticed is on social media today, it's like we want to be so deep. We want to find the book that's going to make it sound super complex. We're going to be all up in the high row and up in space with it. When our people, the average of us can't even read past a third grade level. And that's just the reality of it. I'm probably one of them. Shoot, you get up in them big words, I might have to clear some words or two. So while we trying to be so deep, we dealing with a people and our target audience not even on that type of level. So he came, I love the way the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he's short, sweet, to the point, but it was effective for the people. And so when we look at that time, many may say, oh, look how he chopping up them words, the grammar, the way he speak. Yeah. You can talk about it, but let's look at the work that he did, though. Let's look at how many people, millions of people, still to this day that he's able to raise from his message. But it was so simple. I can remember when he was being interviewed, the dude said, do you teach hate? He said, no. He said, well, what do you teach? Truth. I mean, he just right to the point. And so that's just a reminder, man. What is our mission? What is our focus? Is it to look good? Is it to sound good for a sound bite, for a podcast clip, or is it to be direct and let the and speak in a way, in a language where the people can truly understand it? Our job is not to take something that's already simple and make it sound deep and complex so it can get a nice clipping and go viral. Our real job is to take the complex things and make it simple for our people to understand it. Okay? Because our people done dropped out of high school, many of them. Many of us done dropped out of college. Many of us, hell, don't even know really how to read, if we can be real. So we got to know how to convey it in a way and make it simple. And that's what I love about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He know how to bring them analogies, them stories, them metaphors to bring it from up here down here. Now, do the minister know how to talk up there for a certain audience? Of course. But study how the minister talks to us, man, when he talking to the people that's probably speaking on the third, fourth grade level like me, where he can make it plain for a fool to understand. So that's one of the things that stood out for me, because many may listen to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but look at what he told the minister. Don't worry about how I'm saying it. You listen to what I'm saying and you put it in your fine language. See? So if you got some friends and y'all don't went to college, you take what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is saying in his books and his lectures and say, okay, I understand what he was trying. Let me go put it in this language to go get this part of the hood or go get my family, things of that nature, because we all are a part of this mission. And lastly, he said eternal life is not our physical life living forever, but it's us being connected to him who is eternal. So as long as we are part of that work and that mission with God, as long as truth is here, we are here, which is why it says, speak not of those who are slain in the way of Allah as dead. Nay, they are not dead. We just comprehend not. So let's just make sure we on the good side, and we'll be here forever. Maybe not in flesh, but in spirit and mind. Let's go to Brother Daniel 6X. Brother Daniel 6X.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum, great brother.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yes, sir. What stood out to me was the brother mentioning when he said that Muhammad has your body, but the devil has your mind. And he was really dealing heavily with the mind, or the eternal part of ourselves. The simplicity of what I heard was this: the Honorable Elijah Muhammad saw growth and development needed in his student, and he gave him an instruction and a command based on divine law, and he made it simple, and the minister went and immediately obeyed. So he gave proper law and law enforcement in the way in which the student would carry it out. The minister said that he has come to the conclusion that the registered Muslim is not going to change from teaching. And when I heard that, I said, we just rebellious. And we don't follow simple laws and instructions, but we applaud and we clap. So if we look at what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the relationship of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he was an obedient student. So I see that my problem is too much rebellion and disobedience. And the minister said, the best of you come by way of a word, and the rest of you come by the whipping. So I look at that and I say, it would be best to study, but it would be more better to apply the simplicities of what we study and transform our lives. Because you say it all the time, but you can quote, you can be highfalutin and sound real good. And a lot of times we want to delve real deep into the word because we ain't doing the damn thing. Excuse my language.
Go ahead.
But when we do a few simple things properly, we will transform our lives just by doing a few simple things. I've been in the nation 26 years and I had to look at my own walk and say, what have I mastered in Islam in 26 years? Did I master prayer? No. 1 meal a day? No. Stop lying? No. Working on it. Just some simple things. And if I can't look at my years in Islam and say I've taken one principle and mastered that one thing, then my Islam is a failure. Because Islam is about self-mastery. And sometimes we don't look at that basic self-improvement. Even if it comes to dressing the part, getting the mind right, just some simple things that if we haven't taken one principle and put it to practice to where we do that jam up, then what are we really doing in our Islam? We're not really an example for people because we don't have nothing to show forth where we have internalized the principles. And it's not money not enough because you got all kinds of folk making money. Some of the most savage of our people got plenty of cake.
That's right.
So it has to boil down to that which is eternal, which is the principles in the mind. Most of those who I remember are those who live their lives on solid principle that lives well beyond the container. That's it, great brother.
Thank you, sir. Man, that's big. I mean, shoot, I told y'all some of the coldest parts is when we get to that feedback. That's a good point, man. If we can't say we've mastered one thing, what have we been doing? And let me say this, maybe I can help by the help of Allah. The minister in Belief in Allah, we just watched the Belief in Allah. He says some of our problem is that we don't have a worthy goal. Can you see it? Can you vision it? Write it down. So whatever it is we want to master, let's write it down, because when we don't have it written down and we don't really have a goal, nor do we have a deadline, we go through life and what are we taught? That Satan makes evil what? Fair seeming, and he deceived not some of the world, but the whole world. So he's constantly pulling on us. We heard the minister say what? It's in my notes. Watch this. The minister said he plans, meaning the devil. So he's planning against us. But look at how the minister described our mindset. We don't plan. Most black people, I'm quoting the minister, most black people have no plan for our lives, families, or organizations. We just function day to day without plan. So if we don't have a goal in mind and he has a plan in mind, energy is going to flow. So if he pulling here in the TV, okay, he pulling through this ad, okay, he pulling through this person. You know, when Jesus saw Peter and Peter said some of it off, he didn't say, get thee behind me, Peter, did he? Get thee behind me, Satan. So Satan may come through your own, watch out now. So we got to be on guard and have a goal and a deadline in mind so that we know every single day I'm doing something to move me closer to this goal. So if I say I want to master all my prayers, but for the past 30 days, I ain't studied noun prayer, I haven't looked at or said noun prayer, then I know, hey man, I ain't really trying to do this here. But if I know, okay, what is it? Okay, it's August 9th. Ooh, okay, by October 1st, I want to know the whole entire opening prayer. Now in my mind, it's there. That means I know I got to study it. I got to say it to remember it. So every day now that I know my deadline is October 1st, shoot, I got to be looking at a paragraph a day. Boom. I'm mastering. I'm saying it over and over again. And by October 1st, well, we had that thing mastered. Here's one last thing from the minister. He says, because whenever we want to do something, I seen a quote that Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, whenever you want to do something of good, you're going to be tested. You're going to be tried, right? Well, whenever we want to bring something into existence, a goal, anything like that, opposition will come. Struggle is ordained. So the minister says, when Allah plans, he takes in consideration the forces that may be against the plan, and he plans against the forces. He organized his forces to bring his plan into fruition. So what could come up and knock me off of or distract me about this prayer? Now I'm planning against anything that may come up, because by any righteous means necessary, I'm finna master this. Then after we master that, then we go to the next thing. Then we go to the next thing. And I want us to start to prioritize a list. Prioritize a list, because when we have all this stuff we want to do, we suffer from over analysis paralysis. Okay, so I got to learn how to eat to live. I got to learn what to eat, how to eat. What do I get from the grocery store? Then I got to learn all these prayers. Then I got to learn all the restricted law. Then I got, listen, this can be overwhelming, family. We are babies in Islam still. You got to be patient with ourselves and remember, majority of my life, I was a Negro. I can't come in this and think I'm finna master all this in 1 week. No, that would be unjust to yourself. That's not even freedom, justice, and equality for yourself. So be patient with yourselves, fam. And don't let nobody else on the outside make you feel guilty and bad because you ain't mastered something yet. You got people that master how to eat to live, and now they want to make you feel bad because they know how to fast good. They fast every 3 days, they fast, and that's all they harp on, but they ain't been praying. Oh, they got to eating right. They eating 1 meal a day. Oh, brother, I'm on every other day, brother. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Listen, don't let them make you feel bad because they be gossiping and slack talking. It's something that they still ain't mastered yet. So don't let, because somebody else has mastered one part of Islam, that's the only part that they harp on when they got a whole bunch of other stuff that they struggling with just like you. So be patient with yourself. Okay? All right, let's go to Brother Martin before I take up the whole. Let's go to Brother Martin.
Alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
You and Brother Daniel just shut it down. I could almost word for word, verbatim, repeat what y'all said, but I'm going to just go to Closing the Gap, page 52, the reality of God. So I would imagine that in order to perceive anything correctly, we must first check the state of mind we are in, then ask ourselves how much we do not know about that which we are looking at. How deep is our knowledge of this thing? How deep is our understanding of its purpose? And when we can answer those questions properly, then we can say whether we perceive or misperceive reality. I do not know how anyone can perceive reality properly without Allah God. The God conscious individual is less likely to misperceive reality than one who forsakes Allah God. When we forsake Allah God, we forsake him who is the only reality and the creator of that which we are trying to perceive. So only through the eyes of the only reality can we really perceive reality. One must therefore study the word of Allah God in order to perceive the reality of life better. one must study the word of Allah God to come into the proper mood and attitude for understanding. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Sister Tamara.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
So the part that touched me is the modesty part, because I'm all about modesty. The minister said, if God said be modest and cover yourself, fight. Why should we fight that? Modesty is important, and the Quran says that say to the believing women that they should lower their gaze and guard their modesty. We have to remind us that we are all Marys, and that being covered, not just for ourselves, but for our husbands is important. So modesty doesn't mean that, you put on a garment and say, okay, I'm going to be modest, but I'm going to tighten this area in the hip. No, modesty is about covering. And we have to also know that modesty is not about covering your body, but you have to have a modest heart and a modest mind as well. So that's what stuck out for me, is the modesty part. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you. Sister Yolanda.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
The part that stood out for me is when the minister says or mentioned that, where's my note? Real sight is not with the eyes, it's with the mind. And it brought the thoughts to my head with the enemy out there in their marketing and always trying to collect our Federal Reserve notes. That game they had where you put those goggles on and you're standing in the middle of the floor looking crazy because the images that you're seeing through those goggles, either you trying to fight it or you trying to jump an obstacle course or whatever it is. So I was like, let me not have on the goggles of this world, because that clouds my vision or steals away from my mind and me trying to put my mind into the God's mind, allow my mind to grow into the God's mind. So I was like, wow. So when I'm distracted by what's out there and I'm looking at things because I'm seeing this stuff and everybody having fun, blah, 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 whatever have you, have you tried this out? That's a distraction for me. So as I strive to keep my sight on the minister in my mind in these teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I thank Master Farrakhan Muhammad for penning the person of Allah, because in this world it is tough, and all those things that you had mentioned and other callers. Have I mastered one thing for me to talk to anybody else or down somebody, or nevertheless, I try my best and strive to encourage people, because we haven't arrived. Your evolving is continuous. It's a daily thing. I strive to crucify something in myself daily. As I came out of a small obstacle yesterday, I was like, you know what? They still in Niggerville, USA, and I can't. Like, please leave me alone. But as the minister said, and even in the study guide, take plenty. So taking them goggles off, I gotta keep them goggles off because I can't. I gotta keep my eye on the sparrow, because woo, it just hit my spirit, and I was just like, ouch, like somebody poked me with something. Witnessing what I did yesterday, and I was just like, okay, get yourself together, because you ain't all the way together. You might punch somebody's spirit and you don't even know it. So let me keep my mind in the gods as much as I can, rising above emotions into the things of the gods, so I can master one thing, move on to the next thing, and write my goals and my plans down so I keep myself good. So Muhammad can have my body and my mind. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Brother Tony, straight drop.
Assalamu alaikum, family.
Well, excellent.
Praise be the Lord. What stood out to me, Brother Ben, was the art of suggestion, right? And in the art of suggestion, it reminded me of a subliminal suggestion. We can be looking at TV and a commercial will come on, and it might be a McDonald's commercial. I don't even want no McDonald's. But by the time I get through watching the commercial, it'll make you want some McDonald's. Likewise, and so it is in life. We are taught by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, way of Farrakhan, to take charge of your post and all temple property in view. So when I think of that, I have to be on my post mentally, spiritually, and economically. People will come to you and try to make a suggestion to you. Brother Tony, go get this load for me. But it's an illegal load. So the money might be good, but are you willing to suffer the consequences? So the art of suggestion, we have to stay on our guard. So when things are suggested to us subliminally, I come in contact with a lot of people on a day-to-day basis. And a sister might say something provocative. But when the power of words, I would just say, sister, then you know I'm married. Ain't nothing you can do for me. I'm not going down that road. I already know where it is. It's the dead end road. You follow me? So I do that, and I use the word sister. I use the word of Almighty God Allah, and I try to constantly keep God on my mind. And when I do that, then it keeps me on the straight path. So that's what stood out to me, and I just wanted to share that with the family. Assalamu alaikum.
Well, excellent. Yes, sir. That 114 surah, as we are taught, says, I seek thy refuge from evil suggestions. I forgot what lecture the minister broke down some examples. We got to find that, but definitely it's not always coming direct, which is why I think Jesus was able to say that to Peter. Hey, man, get thee behind me, Satan. I know you, Peter. Now you my boy, but hey, that wouldn't that probably, I don't know if that was you there. So be careful, man. You know how we do in group chats, private chats, DMs. See, a evil suggestion can come in a question. Yeah, you think I'm just asking. No, you ain't just asking. You casting an evil suggestion. You trying to make someone think something without saying it directly, because you's a coward. That's just what it is. You know, that's how we are sometimes. So evil suggestion, we gotta guard against that, and we've been given measures on how to protect that. One, as I'm thinking about one, we have a book, and I'm trying to find it because we done moved. I gotta know where the book is. It's How to Become Saviors, right? And the minister's dealing with agents, and he's talking about the foremost. And what the foremost do is this: when the agent is striving to bring them an evil suggestion about somebody, he said what the foremost does is say, hold on, brother. Let me call the brother in. And now see what you were saying again? Oh, now he got to say it directly in front of the person and let that person defend themselves and or give their side of the story. Because if we allow people to do that and we don't do that, they're going to feel comfortable. I can always bring some stuff to them. Ooh, I can always do some evil suggestion with them. And we may think it don't affect us. I've seen it happen. But it'll affect how you think about the person. Even if you don't know if it's true or not, it'll hit your spirit and you don't really got confirmation, and you'll start feeling the type of way about the person. Damn, did he really do that? Damn, did he steal? Damn, did he really rob that person? Damn, did he really? Oh, man, it done affected your spirit because they done dropped the seed in you. And now you have become a host. See? Now, if you're not strong enough, you will share it, spreading it, not really knowing she said this today and I don't know. But now you don't know how this person's finna take that. You know how telephone works. This person finna take it and say, well, she said, as if it was a statement. But it started with just an evil suggestion. Remember, Satan studies. The minister said, we not planning like that. We not studying like that. We ain't got too much time. You know why? Because they have taken the straws away from the children of Israel. Go study in the Bible where Moses was coming to save the children of Israel from Pharaoh. So what he did was he took the straws, which makes their work easier, and told them that they had to get it done at the same pace. So they didn't have time to listen to what Moses was doing. So they got us so busy, got job, we got to pay these bills. We so focused on just trying to stay above water, we ain't got time to be studying them and thinking how they thinking and planning how they planning. So just be careful, y'all, with those evil suggestions, and practice being the foremost. It's not always comfortable. I had to do that a few months ago. I'm on Zoom. Dude, we supposed to be doing a one-on-one discovery call. He got to talking about somebody. I said, brother, do you want me to send him the link so he can come on the Zoom? Oh, no. I'm not trying. See, what you telling me for? For what are you expecting? What do you want back? Now, if you telling me and this is about coming to a solution and we eventually can all get on the call, but if you always want to keep it away from the other person, your motive is wrong. Get on, go gossip to somebody else. Well, I don't gossip at all. So be careful. Those evil suggestions can even come in a slick question, okay? Sister Randisha.
Yes, sir. So, Assalamu alaikum, family. The book that came to my mind as we were talking about Allah, the only reality, was This Is the One, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We need not look for another one. Volume 1 by the third edition, Volume 1 by Brother Jabril. But on page 137, it says this book is about a man, a black man often called the most powerful black man in America, loved intensely by a growing minority, hated fiercely by a decreasing majority, understood by some, misjudged by most. He is the type of man who invokes the greatest interest and stirs the deepest emotions. What he says and does forces men to think, to move, to take a stand. He is a man about whom none can be neutral. At present, most people know of him through America's mass media. On the whole, he has been so grotesquely presented to the public by the media that often there is little resemblance between the real man and what has been spoken and written about him. Despite this, the impact of his presence in the work is felt in every home in America. The effect of his being has gone around the globe. Never has it been so vital for so many to get acquainted with one man as it is today, and the hour grows late. So I just thought that was something that just stood out to me as we are talking about the reality of God.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Is it brother Ja? Is the N silent? Najah? Told you I got that third grade education. Brother Njah? Going once, going twice. All right. Okay, there you go. You gotta unmute yourself. You gotta unmute yourself. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, there you go.
Yes, I'm sorry. All right. Sorry about that. My phone is driving. What stood out to me today, and I appreciate the call and everything. I've been on for maybe the last probably 2 weeks. So I'm learning and fresh. But what stood out to me was really the talk about the mind. I personally just have been going through a lot of different things with with suggestions. Agents bringing suggestions, and just like the devil or technology trying to overcome or exert itself over me. And so I just want to kind of just say that I appreciate the call today, and that I am learning. I'll be on again tomorrow, but I do believe that I guess that that the devil, that agents are trying to. We're just really in a fight right now, like our greatest fight, like someone else said, with them studying and to influence our behavior, our mind, and
Don't eat no more.
My bad. Go ahead. She was off mute. She didn't know.
Okay, no problem. But yeah, I appreciate you. I just want to quickly say that. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And don't eat no more bean pie. I wish you about to say. Brother Michael.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Man, I definitely have to say, I have to veg you back off of Brother Wesley. You know, the light bulb reference. The light bulb was going off the entire time, I would have to say, man. And so the main takeaway is all praise is due to Allah, you know, just for clarity, for a constant reminder by way of this power call. And so I appreciate you, Brother Ben, and all those who are making this happen, and I continue to support. And your level of consistency, man, is so impressive. No, this call doesn't take the place of Sundays or our study, but this weekly reminder, man, is definitely refreshing. This entire call, I could only do nothing but say, oh, okay, now I get it. And as you mentioned, you know, when you first came on, you were saying the minister went, this is a old recording. And I'm saying after 20 years of listening, every time I listen to the minister, I'm getting something different. And I'm just saying, oh, that light bulb again. Oh, now I get it. And so I just say, wow, and all praise is due to Allah for the minister Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad, and Master Fard Muhammad. All praise is due to Allah. Talk to you all. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. As we close this thing out, I would like for you all, if you have not visited your local Muhammad Mosque, to be my guest this Friday. Go to www.noistudygroup.com. We don't bite, but there will be a search procedure. The search procedure, though, is to protect you and us. You just can't go in with no weapons, no knives, and nothing like that. That's all. That ain't really nothing to worry about. But that's the only thing that may be a little bit different for you. But when you get there, we're going to go over a study guide. We reading together. It's nothing for you to be high alert about. It's going to be love. So www.noistudygroup.com. And how does Brother Michael keep coming out? But www.noistudygroup.com to tune in and go this Friday. Also, if you guys text the word nation to 833-276-7174, that's how you all will be able to get the text messages that go out. I'm working on an editor. So I know y'all said y'all wanted to do some clips. I'm working on an editor. I'll send you guys some text messages and let you guys know what he said as far as the cost is concerned for those who want to help out. Again, inshallah, I'll find a way to get it paid. I told you guys about what the expense is right now. It's over like $3,500 a month that I pay just to run the power call with the graphics and the Zoom call and the text messages and all that. So if we want to add on clips, that's probably going to be an extra like $1,200 that I would have to pay an editor, because this is what I said. We got the power call, but I would like to see like 3 clips a day made, you know, powerful moments. We got the minister, we got the feedback, and 3 clips, because everybody's not going to be able to watch the 3-hour, 2-hour power call and stuff like that. So if they want to just go in and consume throughout the day clips, we can have 3 clips a day going up. But of course that costs time and, that costs money and stuff like that. So I'm just letting you guys know that I will be working on like a nonprofit or something, man. So y'all don't have to cash at me directly, because I'd rather y'all not do that. But because I don't have anything set up like that just yet, because I'm getting some things in order, it would have to be Cash App $brother being X. But I am working on, we can do maybe like a power call nonprofit or something where the money can go there to where we can kind of do this thing. I'm also thinking about an app. So maybe we can talk about this inside the Telegram. Maybe this is a conversation for the Telegram. But I'm also thinking about doing like an app where you can have your own profile. And we got like the Power Call app. And you can log in and we can post the clips there. We ain't got to worry about YouTube taking nothing down. We can, you can message each other, like a real community. So I'm thinking about an app too. So I'm just sharing some of that stuff with you all. So y'all can stay on Zoom and we can talk about it. But those of y'all who listen on YouTube and Facebook, I thank y'all for listening. We'll be back live tomorrow, 8 a.m. Central Time. Assalamu alaikum.